So there's all these people and they're so excited about the AI stuff, and how AI is going to help you do things, it'll be doing things for you so that you don't have to do them. And this is so typical. This is so typical of this world. I mean, it's comical in a way. It really is. Because of course they bring everything on the heels that, oh, this is going to help mankind, it's going to change everything. I've heard this in healthcare my entire life. Every nurse has, every staff worker has, if you've worked in it long enough. They have town hall meetings and you get together and, no, we're going to bring this in, it's going to change everything, it's going to change staffing, things are going to, and that stuff never materializes because, it's bullshitters that are speaking. It's basically, they're probably family to Cain, in the Bible. I think when it comes to these bloodlines, there's some bloodlines of Cain. Yeah, that's what it is. And of course, you don't know who all of them are. Some you can kind of tell, though. And I often wonder about the people that push this. We have to love the world and stay in this positive mode about everything. Yeah, so God did not want you to love the world. This world wants you to love it, though, because it knows God hates that. Not that God wanted you to be miserable, but God knew that if you truly were walking with him, you're going to be persecuted. If it's on a small level, I have found that the more I walk with God, well, it depends. He protects you, but then you're also faced with challenges to strengthen you. Some that you say, why, God, why? Now, this world would say, no, that's your own making, that's your own attitude, it's your own outlook. No. That those people are meant, whether they realize it or not, they're meant to deceive you. They are. I mean, or they just don't believe in the Bible and they love the world. The people that love the world a ton of them are transhumanists. That's Sam Altman, all those tech giants, the tech bros, all of those people. And I mean, it's very simple. They likely have been living a life they shouldn't, not doing very good at anything. They may have a ton of money, but they're very selfish, likely seeds of Cain in many cases. And they know that, there likely is a God, and the biblical one is where the most evidence is for that. And they know what that God says. And they know that the energy that they've been following is one that God wouldn't approve. So their goal is to live forever, even if it means, uploading their consciousness to the cloud. Okay. They want to do that because they don't want to face their destiny, because their destiny is eternal hell in the lake of fire. I mean, if you believe the Bible, that is what is their destiny. So, God said not to love, I mean, in many ways, he said not to love the world because, not that you should hate it, not that you should be miserable, but where you will find your joy, and this is true, is in him. That's who I look to. Because if you don't have him, you would just be miserable. I often think that's why, there's so many people with mental health disorders, or especially depressed and anxious, is because this world will do everything to keep you from knowing God, or it will put you on the path of Buddhism or the false paths. In fact, I was just reading, and I thought, this doesn't surprise me, but that meditation, like the Buddhist meditations and stuff, they can become a form of addiction. Yeah, I guess there's been some problems in Silicon Valley, of all places. Yeah, but that's a false path, too. But yet, I work in psych, and that's pushed. I mean, Jesus would never be pushed or recommended, okay? But they will recommend, mindfulness and yoga and, all this stuff that's tied to the false religions, okay? And yet, because all of that stuff is a way to get you to detach from your heart so that you never suffer. Well, Jesus said if you walk with him, you're going to be persecuted, and you should praise that you're being persecuted, because truly, if you see the world as this is temporary, that's how I see it. It's not that I hate. Well, I don't hate the world really, because God created, but I hate it too, because it's so deceptive. And much of it is based on going back to the Greek god stuff, okay? All this paganism, even down to with this, this open AI, and Oracle, okay? People have heard of Oracle. It's Larry Ellison, another fool of Silicon Valley. These people are likely seeds of Cain. Really, I mean, you want to talk about bloodlines, that would explain a lot, but you don't know which ones are, because some people follow that path and they just don't realize yet you shouldn't be on that path. And yet so many people are like, oh, think of what AI is going to do for us. It's going to do so many things to help us. And it's like, yeah, it's going to do so many things, and then you're not going to think at all. That's what it's going to do. It's there to help stupefy you more. It is. It wants to, take critical thinking out of doctors' hands, out of nurses' hands. That's the reason why nurses are treated like shit right now. They can make all the excuses they want, the profession itself. But no, it's because they're trying to bring in these false gods of AI. And the thing that gives them away is the symbolism. So let's look at Oracle. Definition for Oracle: a shrine consecrated to the worship and consultation of a prophetic deity as that of Apollo at Delphi. A person such as a priestess through whom a deity is held to respond when consulted. The response given through such medium, often in the form of, I can't see part of it because of the recording, you can see it. So clearly all things that Jesus has said, no, I don't want no necromancy, mediums, none of that. And yet this AI, because this is their religion. So again, all these people, you got the Rainbow Club that wants to force their religion on everybody, okay? Because that came out to be a religion. That's the same one really Silicon Valley's on. But but Silicon Valley has their metal god, the AI god, and all of this is like, you don't have a right to push your religion on anybody. But this is the nature of what we're dealing with, which is why Jesus said the whole world lies with the evil one. Here's the other thing. In healthcare, I think it's every hospital. Where your time card is, you punch into, it's called Chronos. It's Kronos. It's in every hospital or any healthcare setting, big healthcare setting that you punch in at. Yeah, that's a Greek god. That's a Greek god that ate babies. He ate his own babies even, because he didn't want them to grow up and possibly overthrow him on the throne. So not a good god, okay? Just a pagan, but it's everywhere. Yet and people could say, oh, that's a coincidence. It's a coincidence that we punch in to a time clock that's called Chronos, and the Greek god, pagan god, back in the day, the god of time was called Chronos. I don't think so. It's exactly what Jesus said, the whole world lies with the evil one. So even though this world's going to tell you to love the world, and that the reason things are hard is because it's your own fault, and sometimes it is, don't get me wrong, sometimes it is, but if it's because you're doing the best you can, then take heart, because God said they hated him before they hated you. And so you can expect that until he returns. Really. So when you hear these people say, oh, you just have to elevate to happiness and all this, I'm not saying not to be happy. Take happiness in Christ, because Christ will defeat all of this. He will. And they all know that. But they want to get as many of you with them as they can. So they have so many different ways of doing it. Great time to be alive. It really is. If you think about it, it is. Never know what's going to happen from one day to the next. But I'll tell you this, Cain's side loses in the end.